Have you ever wondered what happens to your brain when you only get 4 hours of sleep? You might think you can power through the day without consequences. But what if I told you that just 4 hours of sleep can dramatically affect your brain in ways you've never imagined? In this video, we'll explore the science behind sleep deprivation and uncover the profound impact that just a few hours less of sleep can have on your brain. Sleep is one of the most fundamental processes in our lives. And yet, it's often the first thing we sacrifice in the pursuit of productivity. We think we can push through the day with less sleep, but at what cost? Have you ever tried to power through after only getting 4 hours of sleep? If you have, you may have noticed that your brain isn't functioning at its best. But why does this happen? In today's video, we'll dive deep into the neuroscience behind sleep deprivation, focusing specifically on what happens to your brain when you get just 4 hours of sleep. We'll look at the science of how sleep impacts cognitive function, memory, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Additionally, we'll explore the latest research studies and provide you with an actionable plan to help you get the most out of your sleep. The science of sleep and its impact on your brain. Sleep is essential for brain function. During sleep, the brain consolidates memories, processes emotions, and removes toxins. These processes are vital for maintaining cognitive performance, emotional health, and overall well-being. But when sleep is cut short, even by just a few hours, the consequences are immediate and profound. Stage 1. Cognitive impairment from sleep deprivation. One of the most immediate effects of sleep deprivation is cognitive impairment. Research has shown that just a few hours of missed sleep can severely affect your ability to think clearly, process information, and make decisions. A study from the University of Pennsylvania found that after just one night of 4 hours of sleep, participants exhibited significant declines in cognitive performance. These declines were especially pronounced in tasks that required attention, working memory, and problem solving. When we don't get enough sleep, our brains struggle to form new memories and retain information. Sleep helps to consolidate memories from the day, transferring information from short-term to long-term memory. Without enough sleep, this process is interrupted, which leads to difficulties with memory recall and learning new information. Stage 2. Emotional regulation and the risk of mood swings. Sleep deprivation also has a significant impact on emotional regulation. When we sleep, our brains have a chance to process and regulate emotions. This is especially true during REM sleep, which is critical for emotional processing. Without enough sleep, the brain's ability to regulate emotions is compromised, making us more susceptible to stress, anxiety, and mood swings. A study from Harvard Medical School revealed that sleep deprivation leads to heightened emotional reactivity. Participants who slept for only 4 hours showed exaggerated emotional responses to negative stimuli, while those who were well-rested had more balanced emotional reactions. Essentially, when you don't sleep enough, your brain becomes more sensitive to stress, making it harder to stay calm and composed in challenging situations. Stage 3. The impact on decision-making and risk-taking behavior. Sleep deprivation also affects decision-making, particularly when it comes to risk-taking behavior. A study from the University of California, Berkeley, found that participants who got only 4 hours of sleep were more likely to make risky decisions, such as gambling or engaging in impulsive behavior, compared to those who had a full night of sleep. Sleep deprivation affects the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for higher-order thinking and impulse control. Without proper sleep, the prefrontal cortex becomes less active, while the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, becomes more active, leading to poor judgment and an increased likelihood of risky behavior. Stage 4. The toll on long-term brain health. While the immediate effects of sleep deprivation are concerning, the long-term consequences can be even more alarming. Chronic sleep deprivation, especially when it becomes a regular habit, can lead to significant changes in the brain. Research from the University of Oxford showed that long-term sleep deprivation can cause structural changes in the brain, particularly in areas related to memory and cognitive function. Over time, these changes can increase the risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Additionally, sleep deprivation has been linked to a decline in neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to form new connections and adapt to new information. Without adequate sleep, the brain becomes less flexible and more resistant to change, making it harder to learn new skills or recover from stress. Latest research on sleep deprivation and the brain. The role of sleep in memory consolidation. A study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that even just one night of reduced sleep, such as for hours, can impair the brain's ability to consolidate memories. This has serious implications for students, professionals, or anyone needing to remember important information. When you don't get enough sleep, your brain's ability to file memories effectively is hindered, leaving you with a foggy mind and impaired recall. Sleep and emotional processing. Research from the University of California, San Francisco found that sleep deprivation disrupts the brain's ability to process emotions, particularly negative emotions. When you only get 4 hours of sleep, the amygdala, the emotional center of the brain, becomes overactive, while the prefrontal cortex, which helps us regulate emotions, becomes less active. This results in heightened emotional reactivity and a reduced ability to manage stress. Sleep deprivation and impulse control. A study conducted at the University of Chicago demonstrated that sleep deprivation severely impairs impulse control. After just one night of 4 hours of sleep, participants were more likely to engage in risky behaviors, such as overeating, making poor financial decisions, or engaging in reckless driving. The brain's inability to control impulses under sleep deprivation may explain why people tend to make poor choices when they're sleep deprived. Sleep deprivation and its impact on creativity. Sleep is essential for creativity and problem solving. A recent study by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine showed that sleep deprivation, especially after just 4 hours of sleep, significantly reduces creative thinking. When you're well rested, your brain can make novel connections and think outside the box. However, after a night of limited sleep, the brain's ability to engage in creative thought is impaired, making it harder to come up with innovative ideas or solutions. Action plan for getting better sleep. If you want to avoid the negative effects of sleep deprivation, here's a simple action plan to improve your sleep. Set a consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your circadian rhythm and improves sleep quality. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. Wind down 30 minutes before bed with calming activities like reading, listening to soothing music, or practicing meditation. Avoid caffeine and electronics before bed. Limit caffeine intake in the afternoon and avoid screens, phones, computers, TVs for at least 30 minutes before going to sleep. Create a comfortable sleep environment. Ensure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and at a comfortable temperature to optimize sleep quality. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Try to prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night to ensure your brain and body get the rest they need to function at their best. In conclusion, getting only 4 hours of sleep has serious consequences for your brain, from cognitive impairment to emotional instability and poor decision-making. Sleep deprivation takes a significant toll on your mental and physical health. However, by prioritizing sleep and following the action plan we've outlined, you can protect your brain and ensure it functions optimally. Like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. How many hours of sleep do you usually get, and how do you feel the next day? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated with more science-backed tips for improving your brain health. Start tonight by getting a full 7 to 9 hours of sleep and track how you feel the next day. Notice any improvements in your mood, focus, and decision-making. Let us know how it goes. Thank you for watching, and here's to better sleep and a healthier brain.